Daf Yomi, Tractate, Sanhedrin, page 22b, top of the page, with the words Neurecha Amarlo Kigon Man, Amarlo Kigon Imach. It was talking about let the fountain be blessed, let the fountain be blessed, and have joy with the wife of your youth. Let your fountain be blessed and have joy with the wife of your youth. And Rav Yitzchak, his son, said to him, such as whom? Rav Yehuda said to him, such as your mother, meaning Rav Yehuda's wife. Okay. Eini Viha Makri Le Rav Yehuda Rav Yitzchak Bere Umotza'ani Mar Mimavet Et Aisha Asher Hi Min Sodim V'Charamim. Amar Lo Kigon Man Amar Lo Kigon Imach Mitkaf Tekifa Aburi Ba'amda B'Milah. The Gemara wonders, is that so? But didn't Rav Yehuda once read to Rav Yitzchak, his son, from the verse, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. Ecclesiastes 7:26. And Rav Yitzchak said to him, such as whom? And Rav Yehuda said to him, such as your mother. So we see a different description of his wife. The Gemara responds, this is not a contradiction. Granted, she is difficult and angry, but afterward, she is conciliatory. So she is both more bitter than death and a source of calmness and joy for him at different times. Okay. Amarav Shmuel bar Unya Mishmed Rav Isha Golami Ve'ena Koretes Brit Ela Lemi She'asa Kli Shneimar Ki Bo'alaich Osaich Shem Tzevot Shemo. Rav Shmuel bar Unya says, in the name of Rav, a woman is raw material, like a vessel that has not been completed, and makes a covenant, becoming truly connected only to the one who made her a vessel through her first act of sexual intercourse. As it is stated, for your maker is your husband. The Lord of hosts is his name. Isaiah 54, verse 5. Tana Ein ish meit ela b'ishto Ve'ein isha meita ela lebala. Ein ish meit ela ishto Shneimar v'yamad al Elimelech ish Naomi. Ve'ein isha meita ela lebala Shneimar v'ani bebo'i bipadan meita alai Rachel. It is taught in a Braita, a man dies only to his wife, meaning it is primarily she who suffers the pain and sadness resulting from his death. And a woman dies only to her husband. A man dies only to his wife, as it is stated. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. Ruth 1:3. And a woman dies only to her husband, as it is stated. in Jacob's parting words to Joseph. And as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died on me. Genesis 48:7. Ein ro'inoto Tanu abanan Melech mistaper b'chol yom Kohen gadol me'erev Shabbat le'erev Shabbat Kohen hediot ach echad l'shloshim yom. The Mishnah teaches one may not see the king when having his haircut. The sages taught in the Braita a king has his haircut every day. The high priest waits from the eve of Shabbat to the eve of Shabbat between haircuts. An ordinary priest has his haircut once every 30 days. Melech mistaber b'chol yom shene'emar melech b'yofyo techazena einecha Kohen gadol me'erev Shabbat Amarav Shmuel bar Nachman Rabbi Yochanan Hoil Mishmaos Mischadshos. The Gemara explains a king has his haircut every day, as it is stated. Your eyes should see the king in his beauty. Isaiah 33:17. So his beauty must be tended to daily. The high priest waits from the eve of Shabbat to the eve of Shabbat, as Rav Shmuel bar Nachman says. That Rabbi Yochanan says, since new priestly watches begin every week on the eve of Shabbat, the high priest must have his hair cut in order to look his best when the new watch arrives. Kohen hediot echad l'shloshim yom dichsiv v'chosham lo yigalechu para lo yishalechu kasom yichsmu et roshehem v'yaliv para minazir ketiv acha para lo yishalechu uketiv hasam gadol para se'ar rosho ma lehalan 30 afkan 30 utnan nami stam nezirut 30 yom. The Gemara continues its explanation of the Braita. An ordinary priest has his haircut once every 30 days, as it is written with regard to the priests. They shall not shave their heads, and long hair they shall not grow out. They shall trim only their heads. Ezekiel 44:20. And derived by verbal analogy, long hair. In this verse, from long hair in the verse written with regard to the Nazarite, it is written here with regard to the priests, and long hair they shall not grow out. And it is written there with regard to the Nazarite, long hair growing on his head. Numbers 6:5, just as there. Nazarite hair growth is at least 30 days. So to here, it is 30 days. And the priest must cut his hair before it is called long. And we also learn in the Mishnah, Nazir 5a, a term of Nazariteship of unspecified length is 30 days. V'hasa minalan, Amar Rav Masna Damar Kra, Chadash Yeah, Bigematria, Telatin have the Gemara asks. And there, in the verse about the Nazarite, from where do we derive that 30 days is the minimum length of a term? The Masa says, and the verse states, he shall be holy. Number 6:5. The word yeah has a numerical value of 30. Amar le Rav Papa le Abaye, Ema lo le Rabbi Klal. Amar le yikativ lo yishalechu para. Kedeka amart hashta diktivu para lo yishalechu para lehave shaloche lo lishalcho. Rav Papa said to Abaye, say, the priests should not grow their hair at all, but shade their heads instead. Abaye said to him, had it been written, they shall not grow long hair, it would be as you said, but now it is written, and long hair, Ezekiel 44:20, it can be somewhat long hair, but they should not grow it out very long. Yihachi ha'idina nami dumya dayan ma yain. Dumya dayan ma yain. Bizman bia hu asur de asur. Shlo bizman bia shari. Af perui rosh. Bizman bia asur. Shlo bizman bia shari. The Gemara asks, if so, that the restriction on priests growing long hair is a mitzvah by Torah law, and not just a regulation for its time. But 2, after the destruction of the temple, the priests should be required to have their hair cut every 30 days. The Gemara responds, the prohibition against priests growing long hair is similar to the prohibition against their drinking wine. Just as with regard to wine, only at the time of their entering the temple is it forbidden to the priests, but when it is not the time of their entering the temple, it is permitted. So too, with regard to those with long hair, at the time of their entering the temple, growing their hair long is prohibited, but when it is not the time of their entering the temple, it is permitted. V'yayin shelo bizman bi'ashari. V'yatanya Rabbi Omer ani kohanim asurin lishdot yayin le'olam. Avoma eseh shetikanto kalkalato. V'amar Abaye keman shatuka kehane chamara ha'idna kerebi v'chlal Rabbanan asri. The Gemara challenges this comparison. And is wine permitted when it is not at the time of the entering the temple, but isn't it taught in a Braita? Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says, I say that actually it is always prohibited for priests to drink wine, even since the destruction of the temple. But what can I do, as his repair is his ruin? Meaning that it is the same destruction of the temple that ruined and confused all priestly regulations, and that also improved the priest's lifestyle by enabling them to drink. And Abaye said, in accordance with whose opinion do priests drink wine nowadays? In accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the Gemara concludes by inference that if Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi is singled out as a lone opinion, then the rabbis prohibit it. I think we're going to do, this is part 1, I think.